Alright guys, welcome to the pre-market open. Robinhood literally crashed 8% after earning. There is no surprise. We basically planned some kind of pullback for Robinhood. We can see that it was actually our first projection. There was nothing particular on Robinhood. We could have continued to go up a bit higher, but we have to be careful in those markets. I told you and I showed you there was this target on the 5 minute between 80 to 84. It went below, and we still have this target from 7. It's the area 78 to 73. So we could go lower from this. We still didn't recover that. The pre-market now is around 6.5%, so it's bouncing up a bit after the downside that we had on earnings. We were a bit more than 8%, but be careful because we did tapped a bit into that zone of liquidity, but there is still a lot to recover on the downside. So we could go a bit lower than that, but I still believe we have actually, because of this huge down move on earnings, a very good setup, a very good opportunity on Robinhood for today. I will look to take a trade on the market open probably. I will see how the price action is. But what I wanted you to see is that first we have this target that was on the downside. So if we recover this target, it means that there is likely a chance of rebounding from that zone. That was the first thing. The second thing is that on the 5 minute, we are now with this huge move, we are way too undervalued, right? So this is a very good sign to go higher. And on the 1 minute, it's exactly the same. We are way too much down. So this is all very good news on the very short term, obviously. But if yeah, it could be an amazing setup for today to take a trade on Robinhood, which I will probably do. Other than that, yeah, if we get this rebounds at um at 73 78 in the 73 78 zone, I will then look to go obviously higher, and my next target doesn't change, it's still 92 98. And yeah, so just pull back, rebounds, and going higher. That would be my projection for now. We can remove this target as we went lower than that, but yeah, still super bullish on Robinhood, even more bullish actually, because now the setup just even improved even more. It's like a second opportunity after Friday. So I'm very happy about this. Next, Palantir. Palantir actually got some rebound, and we had this so some pullback, and we had this target on this huge imbalance in that zone. We already tapped into it on the pre-market. We are losing 1%, so we are in the zone. Same, we could go a bit lower to recover fully this zone. Just keep in mind that we still have this target on the downside with a gap that we could recover. That was the initial projection. So yeah, don't be surprised on Palantir if we go recovering all this target and even this one on the downside before we go higher. It's still a possibility. So be a bit patient to have a bit more a bit more of a good setup on Palantir. But yeah, everything looks nice for the next few days. Just be careful for today maybe, and look what the price is doing. Nvidia. So Nvidia, I told you I was a bit bearish on Nvidia because first we have this huge imbalance that should be recovered. The price so was rejected in this area 193 194. We are kind of drifting down, trying to recover this imbalance. This is a support currently. So what I'm gonna do is to look how the price is reacting. in this 183, 186 zone. If you see a clean break, then we look to target this area on the downside, 172, 176. If we see some clear rejection, we can expect a bounce and testing again the resistance on the upside at 193, 194. If you see that the price is not doing something very clear, so it's basically just staying in that zone, just ignore that support, remove it. Don't take it into consideration, because then we don't have clear signal for the market and we cannot really have an edge and tell, okay, the probability is better to go up or to go down. So we have to wait for confirmation and be a bit more patient. That's it for Nvidia. The next good setup that we could have today is Google, actually. Google was undervalued on the 1 hour, I believe. Yeah, it's slightly undervalued on the 1 hour. So that's... Sorry for that. So that's a good setup. Just be careful, because we have still this target on the downside, which is on the 1 hour here. So I would be a bit more patient on Google, because we're just starting to be undervalued, so it could go lower. So if you see that we continue to drift down, we recover this target, then I think we have perfect setup for Google before going higher. And then I would look for this one. That's a big imbalance to recover. That would be my target on the upside, to recover for Google. So I would just wait for a better price on Google. If you do, well, that's perfect entry. And then if you want a target for an exit on the upside, I would look for 337, 343, something in this area. So yeah, Google, Robinhood, for me, that's my two best setup I see for today, at least for now. Let's wait what the market open gives us, but that's two very, very good setup that I see. The next thing we were talking about is obviously BMNR. BMNR, we can check. So it's actually, yeah, it lost, I think, yeah, 7% yesterday. Pre-market is minus almost 2%. Once again, nothing surprising. I'm talking about this, guys, for like days. I think I'm talking about this for like 3 days. Be careful on BMNR. Be careful on Ethereum, because we have clear target on the downside. Look at those arrows that I showed you. Here, like here and here. We have those projection, and I want you to be very careful on that, because this is definitely something that could be recovered. So we saw that we had a clear target here, and actually the price just went down yesterday, tapped just slightly this zone, and on the pre-market we are clearly recovering all the zone. So nothing surprising. Expect a full recovery of this zone up to 1938, something like that. But once again, be careful. If we break this zone, then there is this huge gap on the downside at $17, $18 that could be recovered. That's still my projection for a few days. I'm keeping my covered call at 20. Very happy about that. I'm fully covered, fully protected for that. So yeah, I'm gonna wait to see if we break this zone, if we can get a rebound. Maybe I'll take some profit on my covered call. Let's see. But I'm really expecting a move a bit more aggressive, and maybe a fast recovery down, and then we could go way higher, and we could finally get I would say the move that everybody is expecting about Ethereum and BMNR, to see some really good profit there. Talking about Ethereum, we can check what happened. So on Ethereum, we had this support, right? Which was fully tested again, and we broke clearly into it. Same as BMNR, like I told you, there is still this target on the downside. Huge imbalance, huge wick, huge volume. It's for me, it's not 100% certain that we're gonna recover it, but that's the kind of setup that you have a very high probability of recovering. And actually, with this price action, with the break on the downside of this support, it looks like we want to recover this target on the downside. So don't be surprised once again. We could go recover everything in this area around 1700, 1800 for Ethereum again before we get the rebounds and we go higher for the next few days or few weeks. SoFi. SoFi, nothing much happened, but I still did sold some cover call yesterday after we got this little push on the upside because it was overvalued on the 1 or 5 minutes, something like that. So I thought it was a great idea to put some covered call, and actually we got some reversal from here. So I'm pretty happy to have covered a bit my shares and to take some premium from this. There is nothing much to say except that we still have this wick to recover, so we still have this zone. Get put the target on the 15-minute. Still the same, if we recover this target and we get a rejection, we could go higher, but if we get a clear break, just look for this one on the downside, and we could still be back below $20 for SoFi. That's not impossible, so just be aware of that, of course. And lastly, maybe we can check the SPY. So SPY, I told you we had this target on the upside, which was recovered. Once this is recovered, we have a big chance of reversal. That's what we get for the moment. We started to reverse, and we actually reached this target that we had here. So as you can see, we have, here like a big candle on the 15-minute, and it was fully recovered. Now the question is, are we gonna bounce from it? Are we gonna break below? The pre-market is slightly up, doesn't mean anything. We could still go a bit up and continue lower. That's totally possible. Just be aware of that. We have this huge target. That's my prediction for S&P. It was to reach this target on the upside, which we did, and then reverse and reach and recover the gap that we have below at 678, 681. It's still playing perfectly for me currently. Now the question is, are we gonna break this small area that we just recovered? Expect a recovery of this candle. You can see that huge candle, huge volume. This is probably gonna be recovered. But once they recover it, and if they do, well, you could expect another move to the upside and maybe go for lower target that we have there and recover all the gap in this area. That's still very possible. So be aware of that. So yeah, market is looking like it's honestly looking very positive for the next few weeks, but for today, for the rest of the week, I would be definitely a bit more careful, and maybe cover a bit your share, edge yourself a bit. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, we're gonna have more opportunities. And like I said, for me, right now, I see Robinhood and Google as the best trade for today. Maybe there will be more at the market open, but that's definitely the two stocks I will look to trade and get some entry at market open today. That's it for now. Yeah, I hope we're gonna have a good market after the open, and yeah, I see you